This is the Alden 74 bulk film loader. It's very well made. It feels like it's Bakelite or some other old plastic like that. Solid, and you can find these on eBay, maybe $50, $75. They were made back in the 70s and the 80s. This is the drum where you place the roll of bulk film. A little spool in the center. This came with it. I don't know if that was a spare or if it comes with the device. The Ilford HP5 roll actually has a spool in the center about that size, so I didn't need the extra. The arrow indicates the direction to run the film, and you feed it over the top there and into a slot. The device itself has lots of little levers and knobs on it, but it's not that complicated. This is pretty important right here, this little interlock lever. That's what keeps you from ruining your film. It's your frame counter. And there's a little counter for feet and meters on the left that I don't bother with. I don't think anybody does. Let's pop it open and see what's inside. The little door just flips off. The only thing holding that on is this little copper or brass clips at the end. And then that interlock lever. This is where the film goes. It goes right up at the end there. And you put the bump on the left side. Just like that. This is the sprocket for the film counter. It's got 8 teeth, which means 1 frame. And so there's a little bump on the sprocket. Every time it goes around 1 revolution, it kicks over the frame counter 1 digit. You can see that it's got a lot of slop in it, meaning this thing is not very precise. You could get fancy when you set it up and take the slop out before you start rolling your film, but just do an extra frame and you'll be golden. Those little bumps on that bottom piece, they're apparently for some kind of, I guess, Leica canisters that need a little film gate shut or something. I don't know. We don't need them for normal film. So this is the cover, and you see it's got this big slot in the side, and that's actually the film gate. And that's what we're going to be opening and closing when we start doing our bulk loading. You can see the corresponding slot where the film goes. Notice how the interlock lever has a flat on it and a drum has a half moon cutout on it. And you see how they work together so that the interlock lever, when it's in the down position, you can rotate the drum and you can't lift it up unless the drum is in the closed position with the arrows on the drum showing which is open and closed. And this is what's preventing you from opening the door at the wrong time or leaving the film gate open when you try to open the door. Let me show you how you load this thing in the darkroom. Lift this lever. You must have the lever in the upright position. This is the most important thing. Put the lever in the upright position. You'll see why in a minute. We'll use this little scrap of film in place of the reel. Just feed it through the slot and hold it. And then you put the side on there with the slot there in the right position. Press it down and turn it clockwise until you feel the interlock click. Now you see why the lever has to be up. We want to feel that little half moon click in place on top of the lever. And then you snug down the thumb screw. Not too tight. At this point, you can turn the lights on. Everything else is ready. You can start loading, or you could just put the cover on it and put it away. Let's look at that interlock again. Shut the gate by rotating it to the right. That allows you to flip up the interlock lever, which allows you to open the door. Shut the door. Flip the door lever down. And now the flat allows you to open the film gate. It's not goof-proof. You could leave the door off and flip that lever down, but try not to do that. The manual is kind of silly in the way they tell you how many extra frames to add. They tell you to back the counter off by 3 frames and then add 3 frames to the amount of film you want to load. Why not just say add 6 frames to the amount of film you want to load? I don't know. Well, here's the instructions for your reading pleasure in case you don't have them. I'm going to actually load 5 extra frames. That's working out for me. So let's just make it so that I don't ever forget that. Print out a little sticker and stick it on the side. I've talked about these before. You can get a whole box of 100 of these little rolls. These are cut-offs from a lab. You can get these on eBay for maybe 20 bucks. It's a really good deal. You just find a few in there that have good leaders left on them, and you can reuse them. Let's set them up. I put a little bit of tape on each of the rolls, and we're going to load 3 rolls. Flip out the lever, open the door, attach a roll, line it up very carefully, pop it in, make sure the fork goes home, check the sprocket and make sure we're on the sprocket, shut the door, reset the counter, 0. Shut the interlock. Rotate the drum to open the film gate. Start cranking. I'm only loading 15 frame rolls. I like my little short rolls. So I'm going to crank it until I get to 20. Rotate the drum to shut the film gate, flip up the interlock lever, pop open the door, dump out the roll of film, and snip it off with a clean cut square. Set it aside, lather, rinse, repeat. You can see how you can go through a whole bunch of rolls in a matter of minutes. And it's pretty easy to get the rhythm going. Do not ever forget to open the film gate, because if you do, when you're cranking, you're going to actually be pulling the film through the film gate that's kind of closed, and it's not really tightly closed. The film will go through there, but it'll get scratched. I've done that. You also want to make sure your tape is on straight and you've got a straight cut at the end. Just all the little things to make sure it feeds right. You want to pull out as little as possible at the end here because all that's exposed. Never forget to open the film gate. It's probably the one thing that the device doesn't prevent you from doing is forgetting to open the film gate. You can't open the door unless the film gate's shut. But you can certainly try to crank the film with the film gate shut. And that's it. In the time it took for one song to play, we loaded 3 rolls. And I just snip these at a 45-degree angle. My cameras are not that finicky. We do what works for you. And in the end, a quick label on the end of the film saying what it is. That's all I got. Thank you for watching.